Hey guys, I just wanted to cover a little bit here on Bitfinex, this short that I'm doing. Well, two shorts. I'm shorting Ethereum Classic and I'm also shorting Bitcoin. I'll start with Ethereum Classic. If you've been in our Facebook group or if you've been in our pro community or even on our YouTube channel, we've done a lot of talk about Ethereum Classic with this Callisto airdrop this month. And I basically, or us as a community, basically decided that we really wanted to short Ethereum Classic. So what we did was we kept an eye on the market and chose to pick the best time to do that. And as you look at this chart, it's pretty horrible. Actually, I'll pull this chart up right here so you can see it better. I'll switch to the 4-hour candles here. Take off the RSI so you can see a little bit better and get rid of the volume. There we go. So we had this, this move from this bottom on February 6th. The entire market hit a bottom here, and we had this huge leg up, over double. Went from $15 or $14 all the way up to $42. Now this would have been the best place to short, but we had an expectation that there's going to be, more movement in the market as this Callisto airdrop hype would have pushed Ethereum Classic higher, is what we were kind of expecting. Unfortunately, it didn't go any higher than that, so I wanted to make sure that I capitalized on this short as best as I could, but I needed to make sure that it was going to drop any lower. So I waited until earlier today when it broke past this resistance right here. My short started at 28.50, which is about this level right here, and it's been dropping. Right now we're sitting on somewhat support. We've got these huge buy order right here of 23,000 Ethereum Classic that are trying to get picked up at $26.40 for whatever reason. That's the number that those people are choosing. So we've got the short. Things are looking good. Expecting another leg down from here. Support. We're kind of sitting on the support right here. Doesn't look very strong. The volume. Turn the volume back on here. We're looking for a dump off. So earlier today it dumped here on this candle. It was the dump off. It pumped up all the way to $30 and then it just dumped. So that was when the airdrop happened and everybody sent their Ethereum Classic to the exchanges and now they're selling it off. So we've got our support right here that we're sitting on, and I'm expecting it to break down even further. So my target is low 20s, 22 to probably somewhere in here, 23.50 or so. Let's go on the bottom of that line right there. Yeah, perfect. So this looks like support here. It touched it back here as well. So this is probably the next level of support, about 23.50ish, that area, and then if it drops even further, we're going to go down to 21.80 or so. All right, so this is the short, and hopefully I'll update you guys in the next video of how it went. Otherwise, as you can see, we're in profit here. So this is our profit loss. This is where the short started. I picked up 300 shares for 350, but I sold a couple to lower my risk and then increase my sell, so it's higher. Basically, I averaged up. I'm also buying a bunch on. I sold my Ethereum Classic and I'm buying a bunch back on exchange. So these are all my buy orders for margin to cancel my short, to close my short out, and then I've also got my regular Ethereum Classic I'm picking up cheaper. So I sold my actual long-term hold Ethereum Classic around $30. Cool, and then Bitcoin, let's take a look at what Bitcoin's doing real quick on this short. You can see that I have opened up right now. Bitcoin has been running pretty well, and then we see today there's just this dump. So if we look at what's going on with Bitcoin, we can see that we literally touched resistance right there on the dot, and now we're coming down. So, if you like to look at fibs, you can do that and stuff. I just want to make this easy for you guys and show you, kind of what's been going on here. We'll switch over to the daily so you can see it a little bit better. And, here's what we got. We had this retracement, an ABC, if you want to call it that. And then we had our first step higher. And, we're looking like we're not going to break through this resistance. I mean, it's a little stronger on the daily here, but, we could see another leg back down to retest support at 11,000 or even lower than that, even 10,000 or 9,500, somewhere in that area. So we'll see what's going on with that. I'm going to manage my risk on this short. I'm going to keep my risk level pretty tight. I think I'm going to go about 11,580, somewhere in here. If this chart turns around on me, I don't want to be holding it if we bull run up to 12K. So I'll take a small loss if I need to on that just to manage my risk. All right, guys, I want to check back in with you to show you what's going on with the short. So I just woke up about an hour ago, and actually about 30 minutes ago, and Bitcoin's taken a pretty good dump again. You can see it dropped off about, it was 11,600, and now it's dumping once again. Dumped down to here and found support, and now it's starting to dump again. So if we look at the chart here on Bitcoin, this is the 4-hour chart, and you can see that it hit this resistance right here back on the 20th of February, and we came down here to 9,300 and came back up and hit this resistance again. So, and we're dropping back down. So this is kind of, you could say this is kind of a double top, or at least some pretty strong resistance there. You see it was resistance back here as well. Resistance, it broke through, but it couldn't hold. Resistance, broke through, but couldn't hold. And we're coming back down here once again today. So if you look at my short, I shorted Bitcoin. My base price was 11,324, and it's right here on the chart. You can see it here on this little chart here, and you can see that I bought at kind of the top of this support, and now it's breaking down again. I have a stop buy to purchase this 1 Bitcoin that I'm shorting back. So with a short, what you're doing is you're selling, you're going -1 Bitcoin in my case. You can see here I'm -1 Bitcoin, so I have to buy that Bitcoin back in order to make a profit. And so, I might move this down lower because Bitcoin is still looking really weak here, guys. So if we come over here and we check the volume on Bitcoin, we can see the volume on the 4 hours is pretty steep when it comes to sell-off. We've got sell-off volume right here versus the purchase volume, which is really low as well. So, I'm actually going to move this down a little bit because I think we're going to be coming down a little bit lower. And not to be greedy, but I think we're going to be coming down some more. So I'll readjust that to 10,707. So to check on my Ethereum Classic short here, you can see that I think I was around $700 in profit in unclaimed profit last night. And what I did was I staggered some buy orders here. If you remember last night, I had all these buy orders. Some of these are for margin and some of them are for exchange. I sold my long-term hold Ethereum Classic around $30, which isn't as good as I'd like. I would have liked to have sold it higher, but a lot of us were expecting another pump, up in the $40 range before we shorted. So I was hoping to sell my long-term Ethereum Classic up here, but I got it out at around almost $30. So I hit 2 of my purchases, my buy at $26 for $26.03 for exchange, and my margin, I hit 2 of those as well. So I've got I got 2 more at margin here at $24.55 and $23.45. So I'm hoping those hit also, and I'll come back to you guys and show you and wrap up here this short on Bitcoin and Ethereum Classic. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and exit these 2 positions. I think Bitcoin may come back down, but we're getting a pretty hard bounce here, what it looks like at this 10,600 level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and exit here. I don't believe this is a reversal confirmation necessarily, but I've been sitting on this short for about 2 days now, and I'm going to take some profit. I think that's a good idea. So I've got $1,100 in Ethereum Classic and about $550 here in this Bitcoin short. I'm only shorting 1 Bitcoin, so I'm going to go ahead and take profit, and I'm going to put my buy order in at, let's do 10.7. 10.747. 7. Try that. Let's see what happens. I'm going to buy it back. 10.747. 750, 725 area looks to be pretty good support, at least on this bounce. So, I'm not looking to knock it out of the park. I just like to take my win. So I'll come over to this Ethereum Classic here, and that one, I've got 100 shares left. I've sold shares as I've gone here. I averaged into this position, or scaled into it. at around 28. Well, 29.50 was my first. I'm sorry, 29.70 was my first buy. I scaled into it here all the way down to 28.70, and I started, selling 27.50, 26.87, 26.72. There's a lot of resistance in that 26.50 area. Then in the middle of the night, 26.03 hit for 100 shares, and then while I was surfing yesterday or today, another 100 shares hit at 25.11. So I'm only got 100 shares left, and there's a lot of volume that's starting to come in now. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and say, try to get rid of these here at 40, 44 looks pretty good. Let's try 25, 44, and that's what I got left. So we'll buy those back. We'll see what happens. Still waiting on my Litecoin, or still waiting on my Bitcoin to sell, and my Ethereum Classic. Got a buy order in for it as well. Like I was saying, guys, when you're shorting, you've got to go into negative. So I'm selling 100, and then I have to buy those back. Or I'm selling one Bitcoin high, and I've got to buy it back lower to make profit. So it can be a little complicated shorting. There, my Bitcoin buy order just went through. So limit buy order of one Bitcoin has been fully executed at 10.747. So that's cool. So just waiting on my Ethereum Classic to hit. Alright guys, so I just missed it on camera here, but my buy order that I had placed, it just went through for me to buy back my shares of Ethereum Classic. So you can see right here, my 100 shares went through at 25.44. So, alright, so the profit I just made on these two short trades of Ethereum Classic, here's my position closed at 25.44, $1,156. And here's my profit on my Bitcoin short, $576.50. So total about $1,700, $1,720 or so, give or take. It's not bad for a day of work shorting the market when Bitcoin's crashing and taking the rest of the market with it. So when you're in a bear market, guys, you have opportunities to make money as well. So learn how to short. You can learn about this in our trading course. Get set up on an exchange such as Bitfinex to allow you to be able to short the market and make money on the downside, as well as going long and making money on the upside. So guys, this is Andy with Crypto Traders Pro. And as always, see you on the move.